I started doing the massage for veterans because of my dad, because there was no one for him to really reach out to, or at least I don't think he ever felt like that. And I wanted people to have options of getting massage, relieving anxiety, which tends to be a huge thing with veterans, helping them sleep, and not having to worry about the cost or not being able to afford it. I wasn't born until after he came back. So everything that we ever heard was sort of like memories and little things he would say. But a couple years before he died, he did start talking. He would just randomly tell me stories. It would just be tidbits of people dying, or them, him getting out and how weird it was being out of Vietnam, trying to assimilate back into society, and then realizing, I feel like maybe 30 years after he got back from Vietnam, finally realizing that he had what he thought was PTSD. I did do some massage for my dad, usually only if he was in pain or he, tweaked a muscle working, but he was sort of a workaholic and always outside, and so it wasn't something I did for him a lot, although I think that he would have benefited a lot from it. He had a cancer from Vietnam, and honestly he was misdiagnosed once, and so I can't even remember the name of it. It was like this long name, but it was on the top 10 list of cancers you got from Vietnam. So he was in the infantry and he was on the ground, and he would describe to me being sort of like soaked in Agent Orange. So the chemical exposure was the cause of the cancer. Watching him suffer from the things that he'd gotten due to Agent Orange exposure, it was something that he eventually had to quit his business. I think that was really hard on my mom, and hard on his self-esteem, and hard on us kids to watch, because he was always the person who was working nonstop and never quit. And I think that was hard for all of us to kind of see him have to give up some of the things he'd always done. And just not be able to live the life that maybe he totally wanted to live in the end. And then also he died at 59, and so he's not going to get to see a lot of his grandchildren. I always got the impression that Vietnam was a little bit like seeing your life flash before your eyes, so to speak, and I think he always really wanted a family, and I think that was something he did right away when he got out, kind of seeing his life, flash before his eyes and being like, this life is short, and I could have already died, and I want to start a family.